Hey, welcome into the Hayden Coker Show live here from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's the Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. Senator Lance Bell, the best man that I know and the best man that he knows as well. Welcome in, everybody. We've got a big show today. We're talking about the college football playoff. We're going to recap it. We're going to recap Indiana's magical run, 16-0. Guys, this is the first time, obviously, you look at what happened last year. The first time that we had a 12-team playoff was this year. Last year. So I think it's pretty interesting now that we see what's happening and kind of what's unfolded. So the first 12-team playoff happening last year, you roll over into this year. Look at what this Indiana team did. They go 16-0 when they win the national championship. Okay, that didn't happen last year. Ohio State won it, but they didn't go undefeated. Okay, they lost along the way, and that's where I kind of think that people aren't necessarily taking this thing not necessarily as seriously, but people got to pay more attention to it, guys. You talk about a 16-0 football team in 2025, winning the national championship game, 2026 it is now. Utterly insane, okay? What Kurt Cignetti and that team over in Indiana was able to do this year, that staff, just phenomenal. Now, I thought that Indiana had a lot of growing pains over the year. Now, not necessarily in the sense that, they had to, not necessarily in the sense that, they lost a game or anything, because they didn't lose a game. But I've got to hydrate with a little bit of water. We've got water instead of sweet tea now. We're having a little technical difficulties here, guys. Let me fix that for you real quick. All right, here we go. Now we're talking shop, everybody. All right, sorry about that. I do apologize. But all right, now let's digress from what just happened. Let's kind of dive into it here. But no, the main thing that I think is so interesting here. Look at what Indiana was able to do with who they had. Okay, this wasn't 5 stars. It's the same story over and over. I get you've heard it already. There wasn't 5 stars, maybe 2, 3, 4 stars. But that team was all experience. Okay, they had been there. They had done that. Now they hadn't been there and done that in the sense of winning a national championship game. But they had been there and done that in the sense that, they've been in college for a little bit now. You talk about a team full of 22 and 23-year-olds. They're going out there. They're doing the thing, okay? They don't have to come out of high school making $2 million. And they don't have to do that. They don't have to have that money. They don't have to have that clout. Fernando Mendoza, a 2-star recruit out of high school, okay? You have some of these other guys who were coming over from James Madison. Kurt Cignetti recruited those guys. Okay, Charlie Becker, he's not a big-time recruit coming out of high school. But you know what? The guys over at Indiana, they made it possible with how well they meshed their brains together and how they sort of collectively, I don't even know how to say it, collectively merged into a team. And it's one of the most phenomenal things that you'll ever see. If you really sit back and you think about it for a second, it's one of the coolest things you'll ever see. One of the coolest things we will ever see in our lifetime. You talk about a 2-year turnaround from Kurt Cignetti, a 3-9 Indiana team, not even just 3 years ago. Okay. Then last year you have the 2-loss season, a loss to Ohio State in the regular season, then a loss to Notre Dame in the playoffs. Then you come into this year and you don't lose a single game. Okay. Like I said earlier, growing pains. Yeah, look at the game against Iowa, struggled in that game. Look at the game against Penn State, struggled in that game. But you know what? The team was able to overcome a little adversity without taking a blemish on that record, and they ended up winning every single game on their schedule this year. Now, is it impressive? Absolutely, it's impressive. It's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen on a football field. Probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen on a football field, and I'm excluding plays and whatnot. But just look at what they did. Stand back for a second and look at what this team did. You'll be surprised. You'll be shocked because it's crazy. All right, we're a little bit hydrated now. We think we're a little bit hydrated. Let's talk about Heismendoza, Fernando Mendoza. And guys, I'm not talking about his Heisman moment tonight. If I were to talk about his Heisman moment, I would talk about the moments he had in the Big Ten championship game, some moments he had in the regular season. Okay. This was one of those moments that it screams that, yeah, you know what? That's why he won the Heisman. Look at one of the last plays. I say one of the last plays. Look at one of the last plays that Fernando Mendoza was involved in on a football field, on a college football field, in a college football atmosphere. And it was the play, 4th down. They call a quarterback draw. Fernando Mendoza said it himself. Miami was man on one end. They were zone on the other end, and he just didn't really know what to do. So he said, screw it. I'm going to put my body on the line. I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to die for my team. And guess what? He did exactly that. Now, he didn't actually die. But he went out there, and he put in his work, and he showed us just how much the team meant to him. And I can guarantee you it's not just him that team means that much to. It is, I can guarantee you, it's every single player on that team. Every single player. Every member of it. And that's what makes it so special. 4th and 5, a quarterback draw, runs to the right, nearly gets tackled, gets the first down, stumbles. He doesn't have to try and go for the touchdown there. He can easily just lay down and say, you know what, I got the first down. Let's continue to burn a little clock. No, the dude dives into the end zone like it's nobody's tomorrow, gets in, takes a hard lick to it. And guys, that wasn't even all of it, dude. He took guys, if you don't remember it in the first quarter, he took first off, it should have been a personal foul, which I understand it wasn't. That's fine. I don't care. But Indiana won the game. It doesn't matter. Personal foul should have been. Fernando Mendoza, he takes a cheap shot hit from one of the Miami defenders coming off the edge there on a zone read. Read option. Takes a hit right here to the chin. Boom, bloody mouth. Guess what? Does that deter the way that he plays any at all? No, it doesn't. He gets up, and yeah, they don't get the touchdown on that drive. They score a field goal and whatnot. But guys, you have to understand something. This is not just some rinky-dink football team that they bounce back. They have a quick little turnaround like Arizona State did a few years ago, and they make the playoffs. They don't win a game. No, it's not them. This is an Indiana team that literally has the dog in them like I've never seen anybody else have. And I full-heartedly mean that, because I don't know of any other football team that would have sat in there, took the shots like Indiana did, and still come out on top. Now, what they were able to do is absolutely insane. Need everybody to really sit back and sort of absorb that, because it's absolutely insane. All right, now look at we can keep talking about like how well they did, a 2-year turnaround, whatever, greatest turnaround in sports, blah, 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 blah. We know that. I know that. You know that. I hope you know that anyways. But you better know that. I also got to tell you that, guys, this might be the best team that we've seen since 2019 LSU. And there's an argument that they are better. I'm not saying they are better than 2019 LSU. But what I am saying is they're really freaking good, and they're close. I'd put them at 2, if not 2, number 3. It's going to be 2019 LSU, and then you can flip-flop either 2025 Indiana or 2020 Alabama or 2021 Alabama. It is utterly insane what a team like Indiana has just done. And I think that if this happens again, now obviously I don't think this is going to happen next year, but if any team is ever able to replicate this, props to them. Now we can let's shift our gears for a second. Let's shift gears for just a second, and let's talk about none other than, hold on, I know, Kentucky and Oklahoma State. Kentucky and Oklahoma State, 2 teams that I think personally could be the next Indiana. Now, I'm not saying they go out there to do the same thing that they did this year, undefeated season. I'm talking about a quick turnaround. You see quick turnarounds over the past. You've seen this before, not necessarily to Indiana's extent, but you've seen a quick turnaround before. Look at what Kenny Dillingham did at Arizona State. He hasn't been over for over 5 years. He's already taken Arizona State to the college football playoff. It's a 12-team playoff, granted, but it was still the playoff. So a lot of teams now I see are going to start thinking, or a lot of fan bases anyway, say, hey, you know what? Why can't Alabama fans, why can't Kalen DeBoer go do what Kurt Cignetti did? It's 2 different things, first off. Now, I get it. Inherited a better program, all that jazz. I understand. You can argue that all you want to. I'm sorry. It's not the same. It's just not the same. Okay, first off, Kalen DeBoer, I'm not saying they have it easier at all, by the way. I'm not saying Kurt Cignetti and Indiana have it easier at all. But hear me out. Kalen DeBoer and his staff at Alabama, all the odds are on them. The expectations are through the roof. They're expected to make the playoffs year 1. They don't make the playoffs year 1 under Kalen DeBoer. They make it in year 2. They lose first round. and they still lose 4 games. So they lose 4 games in both years. So what's happening now? Alabama fans are screaming from the rooftops, fire Kalen DeBoer, fire Kalen DeBoer. He's not going to get us there. Guess what? I don't think he's going to get Alabama there either. But to strictly sit here and say, fire DeBoer, fire DeBoer, fire DeBoer, I don't necessarily understand how feasible that is. For one, you've hired him 2 years ago. The buyout's going to be insane. You paid the dude a hell of a lot of money to come over there and coach for your team. And second off, it's just like sit back and look at it for a second, because it's just not something that can happen. All the money, all the time, all the trust that these guys, the boosters, have put into Kalen DeBoer in 2 years. A guy who's one of the best college football coaches in America. Okay, and yeah, I said it. He's one of the best college football coaches in America. But I certainly don't think he's the guy. Okay, and I haven't necessarily said that before. I've said, I know all this time I've said Alabama has their guy. Alabama has their guy. Alabama has their guy. Water break. Alabama doesn't have their guy. And I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it. I really do. And I'll come back to this in a second because I got to get back to the topic. But Oklahoma State, certainly a team that I think could be one of those teams that turns it around in year one under Eric Morris. Look at Will Stein. Certainly a team that I think they could turn it around under Kentucky is a team that could turn it around under Will Stein in year one. Absolutely. I'm not saying 10, 11 wins, but I'm saying you could have a pretty good year. Oklahoma State would probably have a better chance because for one, the scheduling is a little bit different. But Oklahoma State hosts Oregon within the first 3 weeks of the season. So that's a fun one. Yeah, go tell your mom, your dad that you're matching up against Oregon in week 2. See what they say. I guarantee it's not a positive reaction. It's just not. But anyways, Kentucky, they're going to have a little bit beefier of a schedule, and I understand that. SEC bias. Shut up, man. It's just the downright truth right now. Now, I'm not saying they're the best conference in college football this year. They weren't. It's the Big Ten. They've kind of proved that. Not necessarily by what happened I listened to Josh Peck's explanation on this. Pretty good explanation. Not necessarily by what happened in the postseason, by the bowls and whatnot, but also it kind of contributed to it. And what I mean by that is the number 1 team in the SEC was not matched up against the number 1 team in the Big Ten. Do you get what I'm saying there? Kind of, sort of. Also, got it. No. The number 1 team in the SEC, say Georgia, maybe say Ole Miss, say Texas A&M. Well, if you're going to say Texas A&M, the number 1 team in the ACC, no. Let's take it back for a minute. No, that's not how that works. Take a look at the number 1 team in the SEC. It would have been, let's judge by how far one made it. We'll go Ole Miss. Ole Miss did not play Indiana. Okay, they played Miami. Miami beat them. That's fine. Look at what – now this is something – I'm going to take the Big Ten side here. What happened in the matchup for Vanderbilt and Iowa? Who won that matchup? It was Iowa. Iowa was what, the 5th, 6th ranked team and 7th ranked team in the Big Ten? Vandy? Probably 4th or 5th best team in the SEC. 6th best team, somewhere around there. And Iowa beat them. Iowa had the lead by 3 scores at one point in that game, too. So, I don't know. It's a little bit different. You can't necessarily pick and choose sides here, but the Big Ten, you can certainly say, was better than the SEC this year. Yeah. Now, and they're building on to that. You know who else is building right now? Steel 174. The guys over there, Dawson, Daniel, Bobby Welch, all those guys over at Steel 174. They got a full crew behind them. Those guys, they're going out there. They're getting it done. Maybe not right now with all the rain, but they certainly know what they're doing. They can build a house, extremely efficient as well. You need to call these guys. So get on Facebook and go to Steel 174. You can see some of the work they've done. They've got their logo and all that on there. These guys know how to do it. At Steel, STEELE 174. They are still strong, still reliable, Steel 174. Now, moving on. Is it going to be Oklahoma State? Is it going to be Kentucky? Is it going to be another team that I'm not talking about right now? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. Watch out for Texas Tech. Obviously, they're not making a quick turnaround. Okay, they went 11-1 this past year. They're not in the same conversation. Could they be a team that does really well? Absolutely, I think they will be. LSU. I think that they could be a team that goes for a quick turnaround. Now, they're not going to be the same. They're not going to be the next Indiana. It's just not even on the same wavelength. Okay, so let's not talk about that. But LSU could have a quick turnaround with Ole Miss, or excuse me, with Lane Kiffin. Shout out to my man over here who's getting my refill with the water. I seriously do appreciate that. But no, man, it's Mr. Schuyler. But you just really got to sit back and you got to think about it, because I think that's interesting, and I think that a little bit some more people need to pay attention to that and what all is going on with that conversation there. Thank you, Mr. Schuyler. I appreciate that. Man, they've got me hooked up with the water tonight, which is probably good for me, because I need to lose the calories. I need to stop with the sweet tea. If you watch the show all year, you know that I've been a sweet tea-aholic. Okay, so four glasses of sweet tea a night. Okay, that's drunk for some people. No, not for me. I'm a sweet tea drunk is what they call it. That's fine, though. That's fine. I understand. I completely get it. But you know what? It is what it is, and my belly's going to keep growing if I keep doing that, so I've got to switch to the water. All right. Beachbody is right around the corner. I kind of got to get to working on that. Six-pack is right around the corner anyways. But no, man, it's for me right now, that's just kind of where I'm sitting, and I'm trying to digress from the situation as much as possible, because it's freaking January, and I'm already talking about who's going to be the best for next year. It's just not something that's going to happen right now. It's just not. But no, let's switch gears here for a second. Congratulations to Indiana and the Hoosiers on the college football playoff championship in 2025-2026 college football season. Phenomenal season by the Hoosiers. Kirk Cignetti, hope he enjoyed his Hoosier beer. I'd like to try it sometime, Kurt. If you ever want to bring me one, be cool. But nah, man, seriously, this is a time where I've kind of got to sit back and I've got to think about what all is happening. Oh my God, is that Eli Gold? I think I see Eli Gold. I don't think that's him, but it looks like it. Nah, man, let's switch gears here for a second. Let's go to college basketball, man. College football, hot this year, man. Hot. And that's what we talk about in the fall. And that's what we've been talking about over the last few months, okay? It's wintertime. We're still talking about college football. The NFL is still playing. We're not going to talk about that tonight. But we've got college basketball, guys. On the horizon, college basketball is hot in the streets. So, man, I'm super, super excited for it. I'm super excited to talk to you guys about this, because I think it's going to be a fun little topic tonight, because we've got some teams to talk about. Woo. Man. All right. Skyler, you sure this ain't vodka, man? Woo. You sure this isn't vodka? Well, straight vodka, man. No. Got to, man. Got to get the feeling good. No, so college basketball, man. So first off, we're going to start in the SEC, and we'll move on to some other conferences here in a minute. But the SEC right now is kind of what I want to focus on. Vanderbilt, one of the hottest teams in the country 2 weeks ago. Last week I said, and they had lost the game, I believe, the night before. But I said that they were undefeated. They had lost the game the night before. I misspoke. But they are currently on a 3-game losing streak. 16-3, I believe, is their record right now. And yeah, not necessarily ideal. Not all right, then. Not ideal. You know, not necessarily what they're looking for. Especially if you're Vandy right now, Mark Byington. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go deep into their bag of thoughts to finish out the regular season. I'm not saying they're done for. They're not done for at all. This is still a tournament team, in my opinion. But they've really got to figure some things out, because it's a rough stretch to lose 3 straight games, especially in SEC play. You've got to have a good record in the SEC if you want to make the tournament. I do think they make the tournament. They're probably going to win 23, 24 games if I were to take a wild guess. But, guys, I don't think people realize the end of the college basketball season is a month away. It's a month away. Now, that's the regular season. Now, obviously, we're going to go on and we have the college basketball NCAA tournament, March Madness. We all know it. We all love it. But right now, this is something that you've got to be honing in on. There's a lot to talk about with it, and Vandy's got to get it figured out. Now let's move on. Let's talk about Florida. Man, Florida is one of those teams that is just extremely, extremely good, man. And they had a rough start to the season, a rough start to SEC play. I saw they're 4-5 in quadrant 1 games. They've got to get it figured out. Or excuse me, they had to get it figured out. They've gotten it figured out. It does look like 3 straight wins for Florida. Last I looked, anyways. They've really gone on, and this is for Florida, anyways. They've really gone on a stretch of they're getting hot, and Xavier Lee is finally starting to kick in. I saw a video earlier in the year, Xavier Lee straight up saying, I went through the worst slump of my life, and got transfers over from Princeton. Okay, he's got to show his stuff now. He's on the big stages in the SEC now. He's not in an Ivy League school anymore. He's got to show his stuff. rough start to the year, all right. But guess what? He's sort of turned it around here. He had a 23-point, I believe it's 23-point game here the other night. He's really starting to turn it around. This is a Florida team that they've got to continue to put their foot on the gas. Okay, I think this is a top 10 team in America when it's all said and done. I think they can certainly get there. And Todd Golden, the head coach, I think he's going to get this team back to the NCAA tournament, obviously, but probably a Sweet 16. I can certainly see this team as a Sweet 16 team, possibly even an Elite 8 team. Now, as far as the Final Four, the Elite 8 go, the Big 12 and Big 10 right now, heck, even the SEC, the ACC, they're dominating college basketball. They just are. Big 12, I think. Big 12 is dominating. Well, I say dominating. I think Big 12 is the best conference in college basketball. You got the ACC that's up there, the Big 10. I think the SEC right now is sort of slightly below everybody. The highest-ranked SEC team right now is Florida in the net at 14. That's net rankings, not AP rankings. So in the net right now, the highest-ranked team is Florida at 14. And that's dangerous, okay? So the SEC is sort of getting into some dangerous water here. I think Florida's on the climb. They're certainly on the horizon of one of the elite teams in the country. But if you really look at best teams, best conferences, it's not the SEC. It's the Big 12, Big 10, or ACC. That's where the best conferences lie right now, okay? Big East, they've got one team right now that's relevant, okay? St. John's, you could throw them in there, but UConn's the only team right now that's sort of keeping that conference afloat. I think it's a tough conference? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. But teams like Creighton, teams like Xavier, they've got to get things figured out. Teams like Georgetown, they've got to get it figured out. St. John's is one of those teams that's starting to sort of they're starting to fall right into the tracks. They're starting to flow. They're starting to flow as a team. But they've got one loss in the Big East right now. They're 7-1. If they can continue that pace, they're going to be back in the top 25 soon. They just are. They had a rough knock on it, and that's kind of what set them up for where they're at today. But other than that, guys, that right now is some of what I've got for non-SEC conference play. I've got some of my most surprising teams right now. I didn't expect for Michigan to be as good as they are. I didn't expect for Arizona to be as good as they are, and I didn't expect for Nebraska to be as good as they are. Okay, you've got some other teams like Gonzaga. You've got Miami of Ohio. You've got St. Louis, the Billikens. So you've got some interesting teams out there that I really think can make some noise down the stretch. Some underrated teams per se. Miami of Ohio is 20-0 right now. Okay, there's a chance they go undefeated. Now, I don't think it'll happen. They've just barely survived 2 overtime games in the MAC, but I think that they're going to have a pretty good season the rest of the way, and they're probably going to make the tournament. But yeah, and if you really think about it, if Miami of Ohio continues to stretch their own and they end up losing it, say in the MAC championship game, okay, and then say there's some other team from the MAC that's pretty good, Akron, per se. Guess what? You may have 2 MAC teams in the NCAA tournament. That's just how easily that can happen. Mid-major basketball is at its peak right now, buddy. Right now. All right. Tulsa, do I need to go any further? Okay, I will. Fine. Liberty, do I need to go any further? I think Northern Colorado is pretty good. Just say it. You've got a bunch of teams in the G5 that's really freaking good right now. Liberty, I think, is certainly up there as well. I think they're a top 3 team in the nation, or excuse me, the top 3 team when it comes to G5 teams right now. Okay, the only Conference USA team up there right now is probably going to be Liberty. Okay, I'd say you want to look at some other teams. Look at the A10, for example. You've got some really interesting teams in the A10 right now. So, man, it's really interesting to see. St. Louis, I think, is one of those teams that could really, really get it done. But George Mason as well. They've lost 1 game on the year. So watch out for George Mason on the year. So, man, there's so much good happening in college basketball right now. And there's so much fun with it. And I can't wait to get into it. We're gonna see what we can do over these next few weeks with college basketball. With that being said, so it is currently 6:24 on a wonderful Thursday night. Unfortunately, it is raining and it is cold outside. So I do not want to leave this place yet. No, I don't. But yeah, that's kind of it right now. That's kind of what we're talking about. We're going to try and get you some more college basketball content over here in the next few weeks. Next week is going to be hectic. There will be no Hayden Coker show next week. We will be on the road. We'll be working for 94.1 The River. We have the St. Clair County tournament coming up. Basketball, Springville, Asheville, 2 best teams in St. Clair County per se. St. Clair County the Saints are right up there as well. Ragland as well. You got Moody. So this is going to be a fun St. Clair County tournament next week. You got some fun games happening after the St. Clair County tournament as well. Some games going on next Monday night, like Hewitt-Trussville. They're going to play Springville. So, man, it's going to be fun, man. There's some fun little teams and some fun little games taking place over the next few weeks when it comes to high school basketball. And here in a few weeks, we're going to be in Jacksonville watching some of those games take place. So, dude, I'm super excited for it, man. I'm super stoked, and I hope you guys are as well. For now, that's going to be all. Hold on. I left something off. I wanted to talk about Miami of Ohio. Watch out for Miami as well, the Hurricanes basketball. I know it's not football right now. They overperformed in football. They're overperforming right now in basketball, too. Head coach Jay Lucas, former assistant coach of Duke, hired at Miami this past offseason. He's making it work over there with Miami. So watch out for those guys. And the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I don't even care if they lost 2 nights ago. I don't care if they lost to TCU. They're going to end up being in contention in the Big 12 tournament. They're going to end up having a great rest of the year. They're going to beat Iowa State on Saturday on Peacock. It's Cowboys, baby. It's all Cowboys. It's Go Pokes. I don't know if you see that right there. It's Go Pokes. I don't give a crap what anybody says, all right? Whether it's Jalen Curry, whether it's Christian Coleman, whether it's going to be Parsa Fowler. I'm ready for the Oklahoma State Cowboys to make a little noise in the Big 12 this year. Yeah, rough start. I don't care. Shut up, all right? Go freaking Pokes. See that right there? Yeah, it's going to happen. Just give it a little time. We're nuts for the Lutz, and it's Go Pokes on this end. But yeah, man, no, that's kind of all there is to it right now, man, with college basketball. I'm loving it. I hope you're loving it. And we've got some college basketball to watch tonight. We've got Wisconsin and Penn State. We got some games going on this weekend, some massive games. You have Houston and Texas Tech playing. That's going to be a fun one. That's a top 15 matchup as well. Got some other top-ranked matchups going on around the country. So it's going to be fun, man. Y'all dial into that. I know you're going to like it because I'm going to like it, and I know you better like it. So anyways, guys, y'all be careful. And by the way, before we do leave, I got to show you. This is one of the cooler group of five team stadiums or arenas in the country. And this is one of my favorite teams in the country when it comes to G5. All right. I don't know if y'all ready for this one, but they're the Utah State Aggies. Okay. And this is their arena. The Utah State Aggies Arena. Now, I absolutely love it for multiple reasons. You've got the colorful seats. You've got it's kind of off-colored, offset, I guess is what you could call it. But I have another picture too, but for some reason didn't want to upload. But yeah, that is the Utah State. That is the Utah State Arena right now, and that's one of the best G5 arenas in the country. And just saying, I would absolutely love to go visit there. All right, now followers out there, if you're viewing, give me a ticket to go out there, man. It's not hard. Just cough up a few bucks because that's what I'm looking for. Go Aggies, Utah State. I hope to see you in the tourney out there in the mountain, out there in your conference in the Mountain West. Hope to see you do well. All right, I really do. Now, Colorado State, not faring off as well as I thought they would. Hawaii is a G5 team that's playing some really good basketball right now. So that's the team that I look out for as well. It's Hawaii. So yeah. All right, guys, I appreciate you. This has been the Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. Senator Lance Bell, the best man that I know, and the best man that he knows. You see these colleges, these conferences, they're building up, much like Steel 174. And the guys over there, you've got Daniel, you've got Dawson, you've got Bobby Wells. All those guys over at Steel 174, they build houses with efficiency. They've got a great crew behind them. They are still strong, still reliable, Steel 174. You can find those guys on Facebook. It's Steel, STEELE 174. Go on their Facebook. You can find their logo, all that jazz, and learn more there, guys. And if you want to learn more about those guys too, as well, reach out to me. I can get you in contact with Daniel Welch. So, absolutely, guys. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good one. We'll be back next week, or we won't be back next week. We'll be back 2 weeks from now. Okay. We've got a busy week next week with the St. Clair County tournament, but we'll be back. We'll be better than ever, and I hope to see you then. Y'all have a good one, guys, and take care.